Today we are exploring 4 hidden chicken cuts that chefs truly treasure: the oysters, the back fillet, the tenderloin, and the chicken supreme. Some of these you probably already used or at least heard of, while others you may have never even come across. These are the cuts that chefs quietly keep for themselves, because they are just that good, whether for their tenderness, their flavor, or both. Let's get into it. Let's start with the crown jewels of the chicken, the oysters. If you've never heard of them, you're not alone. Most people don't even know they exist. Chicken oysters are two small, round, incredibly tender muscles located on the back of the bird, right where the thigh meets the spine. Chefs call them the Rolls Royce of the chicken or the chef's treat, because whoever breaks down the chicken often eats them before anyone even notices they are gone. To get them, it's easier to remove the whole leg first. Start by visualizing a line running from the front just under the breast all the way to the back. That's your cutting guide. Slice through the skin along that line, then push the leg back to pop the joint out. Now comes the oyster. Carefully cut around it using the tip of your knife, keeping it as intact as possible. Follow the natural shape of the leg, working around the bones. Once the whole leg is removed, locate the separation between the thigh and the oyster and cut through it. You should end up with a small, circular piece of meat. Repeat on the other side. And there you go, two beautiful chicken oysters. Tiny, but mighty. Once you taste them, you'll understand why chefs guard these so closely. Next up, the back fillets, one of the most overlooked and often completely forgotten cuts on the bird. These sit just above the oysters, running along the inside of the chicken's back and connecting to the wing. They are long, thin strips of tender meat that most people never separate. They usually get roasted with the carcass or tossed into stock. But cooked on their own, they are incredibly flavorful and surprisingly tender. Almost like mini chicken tenders, the cut that we're gonna talk about next. To remove them, gently run your knife along the spine of the bird to separate the flesh from the bone. Keep going until most of it is free. You should find the bone in the middle of the fillet, the scapula. Make an incision on top and carefully cut or scrape around to set it free. Once it's fully exposed, pop it out by twisting it gently. Then simply follow the shape of the carcass to remove the rest of the fillet in one whole piece. It might seem fiddly at first, but it gets much easier with practice, and I guarantee you, it's totally worth it. Back fillets cook in minutes, perfect for stir fries, skewers, or a quick sear in a hot pan. Repeat on the other side. Now we are moving to a cut that you probably have heard of, but one that's still overlooked in a lot of countries and cuisines: the chicken tenderloin. These are the long, soft muscles tucked underneath each chicken breast. They are naturally tender, hence the name, and they are what factories brand as chicken tenders. To get them, first we need to remove the chicken breast from the crown, the culinary term for both breasts still on the bone. Don't forget to remove the wishbone first, as it makes everything easier. If you want a step-by-step breakdown of that process, check out my previous chicken butchering video. Make an incision between both breasts. You'll find the bone in the center. Choose a side and cut all the way down, then use this gentle slicing motion to set free the breast from the bone. Flip it over and you'll see a separate strip of meat hanging slightly apart from the breast. That's the tenderloin. Look for the natural separation between both muscles of the breast and the tenderloin. Then carefully run your knife through it to remove it perfectly. Because these muscles barely move during the chicken's life, they stay incredibly soft. But here's the secret. There's a small, white tendon running through each tenderloin. If you're cooking them low and slow, it breaks down quite easily and isn't a big deal. But for quick cooking, like stir frying or deep frying, the tendon makes the meat tighten and turns it tough. To remove it, just grab the tendon with a paper towel and slide the fork over it and pull. A tiny bit of meat might come off, but the structure should stay intact, just like this. Tenderloins cook fast, take marinades beautifully and are one of the most versatile cuts of the bird. Last but not least, the most elegant hidden cut, the chicken supreme. A chicken supreme is basically a skin-on boneless breast with the first segment of the wing still attached, the drumette. It's the cut you'll see in upscale French restaurants where presentation matters just as much as flavor. Leaving the wing bone attached does two things. First, it adds flavor and moisture while cooking. And second, it gives the dish that clean, restaurant-style look. To make a supreme, remove the breast from the carcass while keeping the skin intact and the wing attached. I'm using the breasts that I removed earlier. That's why I didn't trim the wing or the skin before. Cut at the joint between the winglet and the drumette, leaving the last attached to the breast. To do it, just feel for a small bump on the joint and cut just beside it. It should separate effortlessly. At this point, this is already considered a supreme, but the OGs like it visually refined, and there are two classic presentations. Option 1. Trim the end of the drumette. Expose the bone by scraping around it and then cut the end cleanly with kitchen scissors or a cleaver. One clean motion, no bone shattering. Cover the bone back with the meat and it's ready to cook. Option 2. Frenching the bone. Cut the tendons and scrape the meat down to expose the entire bone. Push the meat back into the breast, clean the bone fully and snip the tip so you're left with a neat little handle, the classic French look. Sear it skin side down until golden and crisp, finishing it in the oven. You'll get a juicy, flavorful chicken breast that looks like it came straight off a fine dining menu. And there you have it, 4 hidden chicken cuts that will change the way you look at, break down and cook a bird. From the incredible tender oysters, to the overlooked back fillets, to the versatile tenderloins, all the way to the elegant supreme. And remember, this works on any kind of bird. The size just varies. Try this the next time you're working with a whole chicken and then unlock flavors and textures most people never experience. If you learned something new today, hit like, subscribe and let me know which cut surprised you the most. Until next time!